CitizenFM 93.7 Abuja. Beautiful morning to you and welcome to the Spot Show this morning on 93.7. I'm not alone in the studio. Good morning, bruv. Welcome back, so to say, but good morning, Ish.
Yeah, good morning, Ahmed. Good morning, Abuja.
All right, that's our new signing from Super Eagles, £100 million. All right, welcome to the show, guys, this morning. And what we have on the show this morning, well, we'll be looking at news making the rounds. Generally, we know that for the most part, all of our favorite footballers are taking time out as this is the end of season break, which they've not really had for about the past 3 seasons, especially since COVID. So this is like the first proper post-season break that the guys are having. And of course, that is coming after the conclusion of the first 3 rounds of the UEFA Nations League. Before that, actually, well, some teams already... Well, we are kicking off with basketball this morning. We're starting with the new Abuja-based franchise, talking about Mohit Basketball Club, who yesterday trounced FCT Hard Rockers 79-52 to win their day one game of the Elite 8 round of the 2022 Mark D. Ball Men's Basketball Championship, which also started yesterday at the Indoor Sports Hall of the Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Hard Rockers head coach Emmanuel Loda blamed the loss on his players, who he accused of naivety and showing players of the opposing side too much respect rather than giving them a good fight. Well, this is a story better told from your tongue, bro.
It's day one for the Elite 8 of the Mark the Ball and Championship when it comes to basketball in the country, and this competition sometimes earlier this year, and this is the final phase for the last 8 to actually decide the winners of this competition, and it has actually kick-started, and we are beginning to see. It was an Abuja derby yesterday between Mohit 79 and the FCT Hard Rockers, I beg your pardon, and that game was actually predicted to be a clash of the Titans yesterday, but at the end of the day, it was Mohit actually running away with 79 points to 52 against FCT Hard Rockers, and which means it's as against the prediction that is going to be a hard battle between these two sides, as Mohit actually proved their worth yesterday. And like the coach mentioned, his boys were naive and they gave too much respect to their opponents. And also yesterday, in some of the matches played, one game played yesterday was between Hot Coal Ballers of Abuja and Kano Pillars, and that game was also a surprising one. Nobody actually expected Kano Pillars to go down to Hot Coal Ballers, and coupled with the fact that 6-point margin is a huge one for Hot Coal Ballers to go ahead of Kano Pillars at the end of proceedings yesterday. So be that as it may, it has been a very good event. The turnout is good as well. So we hope to see what happens in day 2 of the event. Other results actually saw Gombe Bulls actually defeated Kwara Falcons 60-51, while Nigeria Customs defeated Delta Force of Asaba 70-66.
Yes, and the Elite 8 competition in the MACD Ball basketball continues today with 4 eye-catching fixtures. Eye-catching fixtures in the Elite 8 of the MACD Ball Championship that continues today. At noon, it will be Mo Heat. Well, that is reminiscent of Mo Heats of old, but there will be it is Mo Heat host. We don't have any choice than to call them Mo Heat anyway. Mo Heat will host Delta Force by 12 p.m. for 12 to 2 p.m. fixture. Afterwards, it will be Kwara Falcons taken to court as they host Hot Cool Ballers. For evening fixtures, 4 p.m. is FCT Hardrockers versus Nigeria Customs, and the late kickoff between Gombe Bulls and Canopilas is slated for 6 to 8 p.m. Now, looking at the fact that for Mo Heat, they had a convincing win in their opening game, talking about trouncing FCT Hardrockers 79 to 52, but now they will be coming up against Delta Force. Delta Force as well. So far, we know that they are not a pushover side, because at the end of the day, they did lose, but then again, they are an experienced side in this basketball competition. Delta Force lost 70-66. That is against Nigeria Customs, who will also be playing FCT Hardrockers, who lost to Moet. So, looking at it from FCT Hardrockers and Delta Force's perspective, these two guys that lost their opening games, do you see them being able to turn around the tide against these two sides coming? Moit's coming in with a comfortable win, although Nigeria Customs had to dig deep to eventually defeat Delta Force, but at the end of the day, they got a much needed win. So how do you see these two sides handling the games?
Well, for the game between FCT Hardrockers versus Nigeria Customs, I think that is going to be the biggest match for today. Looking at the fact that both sides are coming from a winning mentality, so they want to make a statement when they face each other in the second to the last game for today. But for Nigeria Customs, this experienced side, they are used to playing basketball when it comes to local basketball in the country, even club basketball, even on the African continent. Also, it's not going to be too much of a tussle for them. But for FCT Hardrockers, who wants to actually cement their name on the market, FCT Hardrockers are one of the newest clubs when it comes to basketball in the FCT, so it is an opportunity for them to actually showcase what they do, go one ahead of what they've actually done in their last game. So it's going to be a very tough counter between FCT Hardrockers versus Nigeria Customs, and the game between Mohit and Delta Force. For Delta Force, who lost 70-66 to Nigeria Customs against a Mohit side that defeated FCT Hardrockers in their last game. So for Delta Force, I think they will just want to come back and actually get back to winning ways, because we know Delta Force are a traditional side when it comes to basketball, with Mohit also one of the new clubs. And thanks to all these FCT clubs who are actually doing us proud in basketball, despite the fact that basketball is not really known in the FCT, except when you go down to the grassroots, and this is what the grassroots has actually provided. Some of these basketball courts you see around the FCT with people playing here and there, you don't get any news from them. Now we are beginning to see news coming from FCT basketball, and that is kudos. I would just say kudos to the players who did not go back to sleep despite all what is happening in the world of basketball, and have been able to actually bring FCT to the limelight when it comes to basketball, against what you see in football. When it comes to football, we don't see some of these FCT football clubs actually playing top flight football. So, but in basketball, reverse is the case, despite the crisis rocking the federation. So, kudos to them. So, let's wait and see what Mohit will be able to pull out of Delta Force in this encounter, but I see Delta Force at the end of the day getting their first win, because this is just like a Super 8, so it's not the long league that they played in the first phase. So this is where whatever outcome you get at the end of your 8 fixtures determines who wins and who loses the tournament.
Midday fixture will also see Kwara Falcons, who lost their opening game. They will host Hot Coal Ballers, who won the opening game against Kano Pillars, who will also play against Gombe Bulls that defeated Kwara Falcons. So it's really a mix of losers versus winners from match day 1. And we'll see if the winners will be able to keep on their streak or if there will be any upsets. Moving on now, Nigeria Tales Women Football Club yesterday whitewashed Joti Sports Queens FC 9-0 to win the 2022 FCT FA Cup. The competition's final match, played at the Area 3 pitch, Nigeria Tales dominated the game from the beginning till the end. Remember Sunshine Stars as well, winning that of Ondo yesterday. So for Nigeria Tales, FCT Women's ITO Cup champions.
Well, good one for them. I think they are really on the rise to prominence when it comes to women football. In the just concluded Nigeria Women Football League season, they were debutants, and they actually made it to the Super 6, although the Super 6 did not go down well with them due to some of obvious reasons that is no longer news to us. But I think they've actually bounced back from that, although it is just Nigeria Tales and Joti Queens that actually enrolled for the FA Cup for FCT when it comes to women's football. But be that as it may, it is what it is history being made by that club. They actually relocated from Benue State to Abuja before the beginning of last season to make Abuja their home soil for the first time, and I think this is actually a push to actually ensure that Abuja is a fortress ground for them. And winning this FCT FA Cup title means are going to represent the FCT, including the opponent they defeated 9-0 at the national ITO Cup competition. So let's see how far they can go with that. So kudos to the girls. We know we have a couple of them in the Nigeria Flamingos. Talking about the girls tutored by Olu Okoribankole, who is also the coach of Nigeria. So he has really done a beautiful job, and even the management of Nigeria. So it is a good one for them. I think they are gradually taking it one step at a time into cementing their name when it comes to women's club football in the country.
Absolutely. And in the men's side, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Football Club, talking about TFCC, defeated Mailantaki Care Sports Academy 2-1 in the final match of the same competition. EFCC struggled to lift up the trophy as the champions of the 2022 FCT FA Cup. There they go rolled out before Mailantaki were reduced to 10 men. The Mailantaki Care Sports Academy started strong at the onset, boasting a more ball possession as they looked for long balls, attempting to pin the opposition but failed to make it count. EFCC's Job Opanachi, however, got the equalizer barely 5 minutes later after a brilliant finish to level 1-1. EFCC, however, got the goal needed when the referee awarded them penalty and was scored by the man of Licha in the 86th minute to earn a 2-1 victory. 33 teams registered the male competition, while only 2 female teams also played in the 2022 Women FCT ITO Cup. The 2 male teams, EFCC and Mailantaki Sports Center FC teams, will represent the FCT at the National FA Cup, while the 2 female teams, Nigeria Tales and Joti Sport Queens, represent FCT at National FA Cup. So what do you think are the chances of EFCC FC and Mailantaki Sports Center?
When it comes to the FA Cup in men's football and club football, FCT clubs for me they don't stand a chance at all, because obviously they're going to meet the likes of Nasarawa United. No, Nasarawa United actually are the winners of the Nasarawa FA Cup concluded yesterday also in Nasarawa State, where they played against their opponent. I can't really recall who they played against, but they won that encounter by 1-0. It was a hard-fought win for Nasarawa United, but that has actually cemented them as the most successful club in Nasarawa State, because the Solid Miners picked their 10th straight FA Cup title in Nasarawa State, not at the national level. So when it comes to the national level, so this EFCC side we are talking about is going to contend against superpowers in the NPFL. Don't forget Kano Pillars maybe there, because I don't really know the results of Kano Pillars in the FA Cup, and you just mentioned Sunshine Stars winning that of Ondo State. So a couple of big boys from the Nigeria Professional Football League are going to come to the FA Cup. So just like we normally see in the UK, where big guns come against smaller teams from the Championship and from League One, and at the end of the day, it is what you expect that happens. So because experience, when it matters most, experience speaks. And that is what we are going to. So for FCT clubs, yes, they've been going to the FA Cup to represent us at least the semi-finals. But let's see if EFCC will be able to do this one. But now, what is the pedigree of EFCC in the NNL? It is nothing to write home about. They're somewhere below in their own group. So that when you can't even hold your space in your regular league, how do you go to the FA Cup and you think you want to make a statement against the likes of Kano Pillars and get like you can't be so sure to the end of the season. I think we still have about 6 more matches to play, in 5 more matches in the NPFL. So you can't be so sure that Kano Pillars will join the likes of EFCC in the same.
But they are not exactly a yardstick for the teams. The EFCC can hit Kano Pillars.
Yes, of course it can happen, but their ratings are different at the moment, and I don't think you will expect a Kano Pillars to want to go down to a club like EFCC. But let's leave that aside, because statistics does not play football. It is what you can bring to the table at a particular time that gives you results. So about overall, FCT clubs going forward into the National FA Cup, for me, does not stand a chance of clinching the trophy. But I want to commend the Milantaki Sport Academy, because it was last year as well that they relocated from Gombe State to make Abuja their home ground, where they did some scouting programs, and it is just less than 1 year from that time, we are now seeing the Milantaki FC playing in the state FA Cup final. That is huge progress. So let's see how far they can go with that, and going to the national level, how they will be able to actually contend with the big boys side by side with EFCC representing the FCT. But we just hope, as residents of the FCT, want to see our own sides play in the FA Cup final and hopefully win it.
Now moving on to other news stories this morning. Super Eagles of Nigeria and Rangers has gone. Midfielder Joe Aribo has expressed his happiness to have played 70 matches for Nigeria and Rangers in the just concluded season. Aribo has been a stable player for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and previously a Stevie Gerrard team in European and domestic action. We're just talking about a while ago, players having to play so many games in a particular season and not having adequate rest. And this is 25-year-old Joe Aribo already hitting 70 games for club and country.
Yeah, you see, the issue of congestion of fixtures, I think, is something to be worried about going into the future, because these football administrators and league organizers are mostly concerned about making money, and they don't give a damn who have to actually work day in, day out, week in, week out to get these fans entertained and actually generate these funds that the organizers actually need. For a player who plays in the English Premier League, let me be particular with that because they have the most fixtures in a season.
Yeah.
Now, after playing about 60-something matches, that is, if you are playing in the English Premier League, you play in the FA Cup, you play in the EFL Cup, then possibly you are in the UEFA Champions League. And after that, after the end of the season, instead of you to go for a break, you resume for international duty. And for those who are actually Europeans, I don't envy them at the moment because something that is supposed to be just a light workout as international friendly is now a competitive game, talking about the UEFA Nations League. So you see, everything boils down to let's make this money. And for the Europeans, football is business, unlike the South Americans where football is a culture, is life for them. So it's telling on these players who plies their trade in Europe. Kevin De Bruyne actually complained about it, and I think after Kevin De Bruyne, one other player can't really remember the name. Jurgen Klopp. You get my point. So, but at the end of the day, it's not even about the coaches. It is the players who run 90 minutes week in, week out, sometimes 4 days interval to get this thing done. As fans, yes, we just sit back and enjoy. We don't want these players to go on break, but hey, you just have to put them into consideration. If you are the one being engaged like that, no leave, no vacation, how are you going to feel? You get my point. So these players, yes, they are being paid for this, heavily for this, but they have families, they have friends. They need some me time. Just to be alone and enjoy themselves. So you see, it's a huge burden on these players, and it's more looking like it's not going to end anytime soon. As every day, every year, we keep hearing rumors and news about a possible new league coming up. At some point it was this UEFA Super League, European Super League. So in the next 5 years, that can actually come into fruition, and that is another fixture added for these players to actually go on to execute. And when you are a very good player, actually, definitely
the Champions League will not be there anymore. And the local and the traditional leagues.
But let's wait and see if those other leagues will want to close down their own shop for those ones to actually sell their market. But at the end of the day, it is these players who look as super players, very good players, that suffers the most, because I won't have a Cristiano Ronaldo in his limelight in my team and want to bench him for whatever reason. No, I wouldn't do that. So you see, the burden is much on the players. So I think this should be taken into consideration, and so that these players can have some time to rest, recharge, and prepare for the next season.
Definitely.
Already we have enough entertainment, so adding more to it, I don't think is going to be too much of entertainment for us, because at some point it's going to get boring. For now, if you ask people how many fans watch the UEFA Nations League, a lot of people do not.
Yeah, actually. All right, without a doubt, and things stand, if the players are still to give their best, then they must get adequate rest to go with it for Aribo. Well, the excitement is there, doing it for a season, but obviously it's not something you want to do over and over and again for a longer period of time. All right, moving on to other players. Victor Osimhen has claimed La Liga and Premier League clubs are interested in signing him this summer from Napoli. Osimhen enjoyed an impressive scoring campaign for Napoli, scoring 18 goals and 6 assists in 32 appearances across all competitions for the Partenopei. The 23-year-old has been linked with the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal and Newcastle. The Nigerian international, however, revealed the Spanish clubs are also keen on signing him this transfer window. Well, moving on to the world of transfers, Portuguese giant Benfica have turn to Nigerian forward Omar Sadiq after selling Darwin Nunez to Liverpool. Uruguayan striker Nunez completed a 75 million euros transfer to Liverpool a couple of days ago, and the Premier League side have set their sights on Omar Sadiq as the perfect replacement for Nunez. Incidentally, Benfica signed Nunez also from Almeria 2 years ago and are ready to raid the La Liga club for their prized assets once again. Omar Sadiq scored 18 goals and provided 12 assists to help the Rojiblancos secure promotion to La Liga last season. La Liga clubs like Valencia, Sevilla are also interested in the 25-year-old striker. So now that Liverpool have signed Darwin Nunez and Man City also have their Haaland, and now Benfica wants to get Umar Sadiq to replace Darwin Nunez, do you see him actually leaving La Liga to go and play in the Portuguese league?
Well, I can't really say for now, but one thing that is sure is after Nunes left Benfica for Liverpool, surely they will want a replacement. And like the news said, they've actually been in business for some time. This is not the first time they will go to Almeria to actually pick a player. So maybe this bilateral relationship between this club may just see Sadiq Omar go to Benfica. But for me, I would just advise the young man remains in UD Almeria. After getting promotion to the La Liga, what else are you looking for? I know, yes, UD Almeria cannot actually contend for the La Liga title, but staying one more season to actually see how things pans out for him and UD Almeria is going to be a good idea. As for now, he's still going to be one of the main the hit men for UD Almeria, so he should just stay and taste the La Liga and see how it pans out for him, because I know subsequently more suitors are going to come. For now, it's just in UD Almeria, so he should not just jump at the ship at the moment. This is the transfer window. Players leaving, traveling from one country to another, and clubs also looking for replacement for already lost players. So sometimes some of these interests can actually cloud your sense of reasoning, and some players just make one move and that is all. You don't hear from them anymore, and it's been one not palatable news or the other, drop of form and all of that, or maybe even without being your form dropping, you just find yourself sitting on the bench, and from there you just fizzle out. So I think you should just be calm, be calculated, and see what happens at the end of it. Just like for Victor Osimhen, when he left the French League on for Serie A, he didn't leave at the time. A lot of clubs wanted him. He actually stayed put, and when he went to Serie A for Napoli, was it the last transfer window? A lot of clubs came in here and there and there, and it was kind of we were not sure of what decision he was going to take. But at the end of the day, he actually stayed put, and see the kind of record again he amassed for himself for Napoli. So one more season in UD Almeria can actually see him cement a position and actually increase his price tag. Now, this is the Victor Osimhen we are talking about. That is now.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Patrick, what's good?
I'm fine.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Champion, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I've been to England to see the Queen.
I have signed you. I wanted to send my account with a sharp. On Osimhen transfer continual link. Me, I don't understand. Why are they linking him? Why would they link him up to a club?
No, obviously they show interest now.
Of course, the guy is on fire, so a lot of club wants his service.
Which one now? Which one are going for him? Which club is serious for him? so that they will not come and continue to link him up. Now we will not see the guy in any of these clubs. Because that is how Alan was linked. They say just want to buy him, clubs want to buy him. Finally, it is Man City that bought him.
Well, the thing with Osimhen is he actually wants to stay at Napoli, so he's not really considering any offers. So people are just saying, okay, they might go for Osimhen, but at the end of the day, he has made it clear that for him, he's going to be at Napoli this season, more or less.
Yeah. And that would be a good decision.
Except Napoli want to cash out on him.
Did you watch Nigerian match when we beat Saitome?
Yes.
I want to hear your views. How did you see our boys now? Are you among those who are shouting that Nigeria have come back to their normal winning way?
For me, we should not be deceived. But actually, it's a good result, and history has been made once again. And under Jose Peseiro, whom has come under some serious criticism after his first few games with the Super Eagles. But be that as it may, that was Sao Tome, not a high-profile football nation. So we should just keep our cool, although it is good for the qualifiers. Okay, we are gradually cementing our space in Côte d'Ivoire 2023, but let's wait and see, because the qualifiers is not where you get all your accolades. It's when you go for a proper competition.
Definitely. So that was Patrick from Newcastle. Definitely, maybe he thought that he thought that he went to sign Darwin. He went to sign Darwin Nunez for Liverpool. But yeah, for me too, I believe for Peseiro, we should actually wait and see and not get too excited anyway. Alright, now back to the world of transfers. Like we said, Victor Osimhen most likely staying at Napoli this season. And so news, Leeds in England midfielder Calvin Phillips has told his club he wants to join Man City, and City believe an offer of 45 to 50 million pounds will be able to persuade Leeds to sell. The representatives of former Man U midfielder Pogba are finalizing a 4-year deal for the France international to rejoin Juventus on a free transfer. Tottenham, Newcastle and Aston Villa are among the Premier League clubs monitoring Wales forward Gareth Bale. And with that, let's move to the world of athletics as we wrap things up on the show this morning. About 10 US-based Nigerian athletes have arrived for the national trials to select stars for the 2022 World Athletics Championship in Oregon, US, and the Commonwealth Games holding in Birmingham, England. The national trials will run from the 21st to 23rd of June at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City. Nigeria's fastest man at the moment, Favour Ogenetejiri Ashe, was the first to arrive in Lagos on Monday from his base in the US last month to run an astonishing 9.79 seconds, which is the fastest time in history by any Nigerian athlete to win his 100-meter hit at the LSU Invitational Minute in Baton Rouge. After missing the Mauritius 2022 African Athletics Championship, Ashe is Nigeria to battle for his ticket to Oregon 2022 World Championship as well as the Commonwealth Games. Yesterday afternoon, more US-based athletes arrived in Lagos, including Rosemary Chukwuma, who is one of the key athletes Nigeria is banking on for medals in Eugene, Oregon, and Birmingham, England. Chukwuma gained the first international experience at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia, where she led the Nigerian 4x100-meter relay team to grab a bronze medal behind the teams from England and Jamaica in 42.75 seconds. At Asaba 2018 African Athletics Championship, Chukwuma won gold in 4x100 meters relay. Earlier, she won double gold at 2018 African Youth Games in Algiers in 100 meters and 200 meters. So a lot of preparations are going down, and all these guys are already turned up in the country for the games. Because the trials will be from next week Tuesday to next week Thursday. What are we looking forward to here?
Well, for me, it's a good one that this trials is coming as expected. You're supposed to have this trial, but in addition, I think the federal government and the Ministry of Sport to ensure that these players are actually tested. They should go for their test. Whoever that's responsible for carrying out this drug test, so that we don't see a repeat of what happened at the Beijing Olympic, where we were shortchanged in athletics because of a positive drug test result. And after that incident, there have been controversy surrounding who is supposed to checkmate the other. Is it that the athletes are supposed to, on their own, go for this drug test, or they should be reminded, or it is the ministry that is supposed to actually carry out this test on them, or the federation? We don't want something like this to happen when we get to Birmingham. So in as much as we are trying to get players to actually qualify for athletes, I beg your pardon, to actually qualify for Birmingham 2022, we should also put into consideration, we should know the anti-doping state of these athletes. So that should be one of the things that while they are in Edo State doing their trials, they should be reminding them. That is, if the athletes are the ones to take up the testing for themselves or to sponsor it. So surrounding this qualification, at the end of the day, they should sign out with a test result, so that we don't see some of this negative story. Because in as much as this result, when it becomes positive, affects the career of these players, it is putting Nigeria in bad light as well, because we've seen this kind of issue with the Russian athletes over the years. In as much as, these athletes tend to suffer for testing positive. Even the nation at some point were actually banned because of series of positive results from their athletes. And at a point they began to represent as a committee in certain competitions, so they are no longer representing the nation anymore. So we don't want to see that happen to our athletes when we get to Birmingham and to Nigeria.
Definitely, and hopefully at the end of the day they would get the necessary testing standards, or meet the necessary testing standards required to participate at these games. Talking about the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England, and as well as the World Championship in Oregon 2022. And with that, we'll bring the show to a wrap this morning on Citizen FM 93.7. Join us this evening for the evening edition of Citizen Sport on 93.7 Abuja. Thank you for staying with us.